to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Ben.
Today I thought we'd talk about Identity Crisis. It's one of the crises from DC. My original plan was to talk about all the crises in order, but no, fuck that. That's a lot of work, and I don't want to start with Infinite Crisis or Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Right.
Those are two different crises. This one is actually one of the few crises that is not, like, cosmic-based. They just call it Identity Crisis because, like, it's actually a term.
Does it reset the timeline?
No.
No, okay.
No, it changes the status quo through good old-fashioned continuity and story.
Okay.
But I guess DC felt like it was just so important that they should slap a crisis label on it.
Yeah. Now, which crises did it happen between?
This one is between Crisis on Infinite Earths and Infinite Crisis. This is actually, like, this is kind of like the harbinger of the numerous crises that would take place afterwards.
Okay.
This would inspire the OMAC project, and then with it, Infinite Crisis. The OMAC project's another thing that we're not going to get into.
Okay.
Thankfully, it has nothing to do with this, except everything to do with this. So, this is written by Brad Meltzer, obviously, from the cover of this, like, ridiculous book.
You mean his name almost as big? Actually, it's as big as the title.
As the title, yeah. And written and drawn by Rags Morales.
Right, Rags. Good old jazz player Rags.
Yeah,
Morales.
Rags Morales. Diddle-diddle-diddle-doo.
I've heard of Rags Morales. I've never heard of Brad Meltzer.
Brad Meltzer's a crime novelist.
Oh.
I'm
Does
not.
it say crime book?
It kind of. It's a mystery.
Oh.
It's like a mystery story. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, first of all, this is like the worst cover for a superhero book ever.
Terrible.
And
Well, it
It's
looks
like
like
they're
a
trying to
bad cover for
it looks like a crime.
mystery book.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like an airport novel.
Yeah.
It's a shitty... I bought this at an airport because I had nothing else to read.
I didn't, because I've never heard of a cell phone or a laptop. And
Yeah, but somehow on the
New York Times bestseller list, because everything is.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting into the comic book. It's just funny because I've never, like, it always, I guess this is their way of trying to, like,
They're trying to appeal to a different audience.
yes, and I think they did that by bringing in Brad Meltzer, like, bringing in a novelist, and also by, like, tailoring the cover for novels.
So what year was this? Right?
I want to say this is, like,
Late 90s?
no, like, early
2000s?
2000s, like, 2005,
Okay.
I want to
Wow.
say. You know, around the time that, like, Marvel was
So there's
doing...
been multiple crises since 2005?
Yeah. Well, like 3. There's been this one, Infinite, and then Final. And unless you count Flashpoint as a crisis, which it should be.
Yeah.
And then the upcoming, like, Darkseid War, which will be another crisis.
Wow.
So, yeah,
So
there's
in,
a
like,
lot of...
So in a decade...
There've been,
Yeah,
like, 4 or 5
like-
crises.
There's
Yeah.
been like 4 major...
Major earth-shattering, status quo
Resets,
changing
yeah.
resets, yeah.
But in this one, it's just everyone gets their costumes wrong.
Yeah.
Superman puts on Batman's costumes,
Yeah.
and, like, Flash puts on Green Lantern.
Well,
It's like, oh, who am I?
It's
Yeah.
funny, it actually... It almost doesn't even matter, but, like, the Identity Crisis comes from an old, like, Justice League story from, like, 30, 40 years ago,
Okay.
in which, like, a couple of D-list supervillains wind up, like, doing the Parent Trap with the Justice League, where they, like, get into their bodies, and they're like, shit, I'm Batman! Take picture. Cool, okay, well, I'm set for life. And what happens, like, how they fix that. Because, like,
Okay.
years and years and years ago, when they did this kind of thing, like, oh, let's do a Freaky Friday. Parent Trap. What was I going to say?
Yeah, it was like, so, like, twins
Yeah.
got one parent, and the other parent...
They're going to convince Batman to marry their mom. No, it was just...
I know what you meant.
It was Freaky Friday, but, like, where they took just an idea or a premise, and they're like, let's just apply that to our
comics.
comic. And then how do they solve it? Well, the superheroes punch them, and then the end.
Well, how do you know that Freaky Friday didn't invent it?
Oh, like, it was originally from comics, and Freaky Friday made...
Yeah.
Now, I must ask that you not skip too far ahead,
Oh, okay.
because there's a big
It's a huge
reveal, and I don't want to ruin it right off the bat.
Okay.
But yeah,
myself.
limit to the first, like, third or two.
Okay.
But in this story, alright, so the idea here is a bunch of random characters from the DC Pantheon that you don't normally get an event central
Superman's
around.
crying.
Yeah, he's pretty sad.
There's
And-
one tier. That doesn't really count as crime.
Well, he's Superman. Like,
He has
that's-
something in his eye.
That would be his argument. But, like, in this, there's a pair of leaguers. One of them's a superhero, the other one's just his wife. And when I say just his wife, I mean, like, she was, like, an honorary member of the Justice League. And that's Ralph and Sue Dibney. Ralph and Sue Dibney are
Elastic Man?
the Elongated Man.
Elongated Man. I was like,
Close.
I was gonna say Plastic Man, and I didn't.
No, but
know
it's
if that was
he
right.
always they have like a thing where it's like the Elongated Man has essentially the same powers as Plastic Man because he's more like Reed Richards. Like he can't like Plastic Man can turn himself into anything, whereas Elongated Man can stretch.
He just stretches.
Yes.
Right.
And the Elongated Man is married to a woman named Sue, and the two of them were kind of like, using Tiffany terms, they're like heart to heart, where it's like two like crime-solving one-percenters who are like, oh, I got superpowers, let's like solve mysteries together as husband and wife, and like they go on merry gallivanting romps, and it's one of the few like sacred couples in comics where it's just a pair of people who love each other deeply, and they just solve mysteries together. It's just kind of like, oh, look at, oh, shucks. Like, where Batman is like a dark, brooding creature of violence, like, the Elongated Man and his wife Sue, like, figure out who stole the Maltese Falcon. Like, that's their little thing.
And then, like, they, have dinner afterwards.
And they go like, oh, I can't believe that happened. Honey, like, your little reveal there at the end, that was pure genius. I love that. Like that kind of thing.
Does Sue die in the
Sue
story?
dies big time. Yeah, Sue dies. Sue is burned alive.
Whoa!
What?
Yeah, Sue is burned alive, and they find her body, and they're like, shit, who killed Sue Dibney? Who would dare? Who would dare murder this powerless, because she has no powers.
Right.
Like, this powerless character. Who would murder her?
That happens at the beginning of the book.
Well, it happens at the beginning of the book. That's like the inciting incident. So, like, Elongated Man and some character, who cares, are like on a stakeout, and then I think Ralph gets a call from Sue, who's like dying, and she's being murdered.
Oh.
And she's like, Ralph, you gotta save me. And he's like, what? And he tries to get over there as fast as possible, and by the time he gets there, she's burned alive. Sorry, guys.
I don't know why, but for some reason I have they're killing me! They're stabbing me right now! Oh no! They pulled the knife out! Oh, they're putting it back in!
But yeah, so Sue's being killed, and she is like, they're murdering me! And he's like, ah! And then, by the way, of course, like, when he finds her body, he also finds the pregnancy stick.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yep. And you're like, oh my god. Like, let's rub some salt in the wounds. Well, the tarnishing of Sue Dibney is not done yet. So,
Was it someone else's baby?
no. Thankfully, it's not that. No, poor Sue is dragged through the mud only in as much as she's murdered and her unborn child also is killed as well.
Right.
But it's not enough. Like, that was enough, right? You killed, like, a character who's like, how sad. Like, why would you murder this poor woman? And Elongated Man is such a wholesome, happy character. Like, let's teach him a lesson. Let's bring him back down our level. Let's kill Superman, but apply it to the Elongated Man. What they find out is, like, immediately, a couple of the Leaguers are like, it must have been Dr. Light. Dr. Light is some D-list supervillain who is, like, D for douche. She's a douchebag. And,
He builds a Mega Man.
no, it's not Dr. Dr. Light. Dr. Light has, like, light projecting powers, and he's a dickhead.
Why do they think it's him?
Because, years ago, Sue went to the Watchtower, which, of course, is the Justice League's base that orbits the Earth, and, she went... They have teleporters, by the way, to get them there.
Oh.
By the way, Hal is the Spectre at this point. Hal went crazy, became Parallax, killed all the Green Lanterns, blotted out the sun, and then redeemed himself by reigniting the sun. And then when he came back to life, he became the Spectre. Or he didn't come back to life, he became the Spectre, which is like the spirit of vengeance. So...
Okay.
that's what Hal Jordan's doing. He's the Spectre.
Is there a Green Lantern?
Jesus.
There's Green Lantern. It's Kyle Rayner. He's a young guy who replaced him. He's like an artist. We talked about him a little bit once before. And DC hates him because he's new and reminds us that Batman's old, so he's got to die.
I was like, he's the guy with the leather jacket thing. Where I was like, no, that's Guy Gardner.
Yeah, that's Guy Gardner. He sucks. Guy Gardner was a Green Lantern for like 10 minutes, and then like the Guardians were like, what were we thinking? And they took it away. And then like at that point, Sinestro was like either not using his ring or died or some shit. And so Guy had the ring, and he's like, well, fuck you. If I can't be a Green Lantern, I'll just use a Green Lantern-like ring and Green Lantern the hell out of this and show the Guardians that I can still be a Green Lantern. And then later they were like, yeah, you're right, and they made him a Green Lantern again.
It worked?
Eventually, like 20 years later.
Okay.
Not before Doomsday kicked him into the pavement. Yeah, it was awesome. So, in this, Sue dies. They think it's Dr. Light. The reason why they think it's Dr. Light is because a few Justice Leaguers remember that there was this point in time when Sue used the teleporters to go to the Watchtower to look at the stars. And Dr. Light was also on the Watchtower, and he's like, oh, like, you're not super powerful, so he rapes her.
Yeah! Just...
That happened in the past?
What?
That happened in the past.
So was this ever in a book?
No, well, yeah, it's in this book.
Well, no, I mean...
And
prior.
retconned it. No.
What?
No.
Shouldn't they have...
No,
if this
they-
had happened, though, wouldn't that be, like, really important to,
Yes.
like, her character?
Well, here's why nobody remembers. Because Zatanna was on the team, and she made Dr. Light forget that he raped her.
Oh.
Because he's like...
Why?
Cause
Did he make Sue... Did she make Sue forget?
I don't recall if he made her forget.
Because that's the person you want.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember if like he makes her forget either. But like the idea here being they capture Dr. Light and then they're like, and he's like, "Yay! Like I raped Sue Dibney and I'll rape everyone." Like he just becomes this like lunatic, and they're like, "Fuck this guy. He shouldn't like he's like I've got this. Like this is my thing that I have over you." And they're like, "Well, if you don't remember, then you'll never have it." And so they put the memory whammy on him.
All right.
And the League kind of
They
like...
just erase his memory, and that's the only justice that he gets.
Well, no, and then they put him in jail and shit. Because he's a bad guy.
Like they always do, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he gets out or whatever.
Yeah, then he gets out or whatever. And the idea here being that, like, some of the Leaguers were okay with the idea and some of them weren't. And I think
For
Flat...
erasing his memory?
Yeah. They were like, this is immoral, we shouldn't do that. Like, he did this horrible thing, he should just face justice for that. We
Right.
shouldn't just, like, change things when it's inconvenient for us.
Right.
And then they kind of established that, like, well, maybe, like, we've been doing this for a while.
What, erasing people's memories?
Yeah. Like, remember that time, and then I was mentioning that time, like, a while ago when the villains, like,
Yes.
got into their bodies. Like, maybe that's how we resolved that problem. Like, Zatanna made them forget, like, the identities.
But they knew the
and, like, maybe every time a villain figured out the identity of a hero and it never became a huge plot point in comics, that's what we did. So that's their
Zatanna.
retconning. Yeah, Zatanna made those characters forget.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was a neat little like retcon of like, here's
Yeah.
how we can still make those stories happen, but also
Right.
make it so that no one killed Alfred. So then they're like on the manhunt for Dr. Light because they're like, maybe Dr. Light remembered, and they go and kick the shit out of Dr. Light.
How dare you make me forget that I raped you? I'm gonna kill you now!
Right. Well, actually,
What kind of thinking is that?
what winds up happening is Dr. Light hires Deathstroke, who's this like crazy assassin. He's like super powerful and shit. Powerful in as much as he knows every like skill.
Right. He's
And
highly trained.
He's highly trained. He's
Right.
he's an instrument of death.
I'm the best at what I do.
Yeah, he is. He is. Yeah, and he's of course the character model for Deadpool. And
Yep.
And he regenerates.
yeah, I think he regenerates. It's something weird. Deathstroke has had probably about 5 origins, and they're all not right. Like, they're all conflicting. So the Justice League fights Deathstroke, and during the fight, they fight him in such a way that it triggers Dr. Light's memories, and it reminds him of the fight he had with those Leaguers,
Oh.
and it unlocks the mind wipe.
So magic can be undone by a small series of events just jogging someone's memory.
Yes, and it happens a lot.
Wow, Zatanna, you suck.
I know. Well, because Zatanna's power, by the way, is, like, her spells are all you say the thing you want backwards.
Oh, no, I know.
So, like, it's pretty flimsy in and of itself. So I can imagine, like, I would not
but it
trust
works!
It works, but, like, not all the time.
What do you mean not all the time?
Well, alright, it works immediately, but, like, listen.
That doesn't mean it's permanent.
If a doctor fixed me, right? But then, like, if I remembered something that was similar to that event, and then it undid it, I would say that he did not do a good job.
Yeah, okay, that's very fair.
But anyway, so they're trying to figure out like who. Like they're like, okay, we caught Dr. Light, but he didn't kill Sue Dibney.
Oh.
Like they're doing an autopsy on her, and they're like, it's not him. But later, it turns out that like whoever killed Sue Dibney isn't done, and they start throwing threats out at people who have loved ones, like the Elongated Man.
Okay, so
Oh.
they're not threatening the Justice League directly. They're
Right.
threatening the Justice League's family and friends.
Yes. So
Is
Lois
this going to be someone who knows all
The-
their identities,
Yes.
having to do with like Zatanna's magic? Like when she erased the memories of people, like those memories went somewhere.
No, they didn't like. No, it's not like matter can't be created and destroyed. Like memories can't be erased. They just go someplace.
It's
else.
not like all the mutant energy then
Yes.
was sucked out of the mutants and then went into a being in the North Pole somewhere.
Yeah,
Not
no,
like
it's
that.
not like that.
Oh, okay.
Thank God. No, but it is.
I am memory man.
I remember everything. That's cool. I guess I'll go to Jeopardy and kick ass.
But it is someone who like resents
intimate knowledge
that they're wiping minds. I guess.
Yes. Well, no,
no.
That's what you're led to think.
Wait.
That's why all this is happening.
Wait. All right, we started talking about the death of Sue Dibney. What's about these characters that, woke up in Batman's body and was just like, oh, click.
Oh, who cares? That happened, and now it... And
that was a long time ago.
It's a long time ago that happened, and then Zatanna used her powers to make them forget.
All right, so that's not in this book?
It's referenced in it, but it's just
reference.
It's
like
it's establishing that, like, they've been doing this for a long time.
Had that ever been referenced before? Had anyone ever woken up and been like, oh, I'm Batman, and that was in...
Well, yeah, that story happened. Yes, that story happened, like, 40 years ago. Like, it was a long time ago. But, like... When it was written with like no thought of longevity or the
consequences of that happening. It was like, this will be a fun thing to have happen.
So they did
like they did 40 years ago.
Right.
I was just concerned that like that was still happening.
No. That was just a one-off.
No. So
series of books.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like random things happening in here. There's a lot of like character moments and other.
Who's this person hanging herself?
That if she's not hanging herself, that is. Ray Palmer, the Atom's ex-wife.
Oh, shit.
She is one of the people being targeted.
Okay.
We also are, for no reason, establishing this very strong relationship between Tim Drake, a.k.a. Robin 3, and his father, Jack Drake.
Oh.
As if to imply, like, perhaps he might also be
targeted
next in this in this series of events. So, and in fact, Lois gets a note. This is, I know who your husband is, and the S is the Superman S.
Okay.
Like, you're next. And so, like, everyone is on alert, and they're trying to figure out, like, who... So, the mystery of who killed Sue Dibney is kind of put on, not the back burner, but kind of, like, loses its importance, because now she is one of what could be many.
You said that Hal Jordan is the Spectre.
Yes, because...
Can't the Spectre talk to the dead ghosts?
Yeah.
So why doesn't he just ask Sue Dibney who killed her?
You know what's funny? Green Arrow has that exact same thought, and he goes to Hal Jordan's grave, and he goes like, hey, Hal, and then the Spectre shows up, and he's like, hey, Ollie, what's up? And he's like, can you not be the Spectre for a minute? And he, like, depowers and becomes Hal Jordan. He's like, what's up, man? And he's like, so, alright, it's really hard trying to figure this out. Can you just tell us who killed her? And he's like, I can't. Like, I'm bound by the rules of...
That would end the book.
Yeah, that would be cheating.
No, that's the game, G. I don't want you to use the game, G. You have to beat the game on your own.
Yeah. You have to beat the game first in order for it not to be cheap. And he's like, no, I can't tell you. And Ollie's like, that's bullshit. And Al's like, I'm sorry. Like, it is bullshit. Listen, I cheated a lot. Like, I killed all the Green Lanterns.
I understand.
Like, I know all about, like, cutting corners and shit. And I would like to help you, because I liked Sue too. That said, I can't. And there's a moment here where he says, like, so when are you coming back to life? And Hal goes, pretty soon.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah, and that was pretty fucking funny. And, like, yeah, and then it took Jeff Johns, but yes, he came back. That's Mr. Miracle.
I've never heard of him.
No. Mr. Miracle is...
This book is just like reveling in these characters that no one gives a crap about.
A lot of people care about these characters.
Oh, really?
But mainstream audiences don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Miracle can escape from any trap.
So he's Houdini.
That's his ability?
Yes.
So if you don't put him in a trap, he is powerless.
Can't
He's
really do
useless.
anything.
Well, no, because like the trap could be like, haha, I've got a gun, and he could figure out how to get away from
That's
it.
not a trap!
It's not a
Well,
trap.
no, life is a trap, and so he's just trying to live through it. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
You know, being poor is a trap. I'm gonna win the lottery!
Yeah, see?
I'm Miracle!
There you go. That's a miracle. Boom. So there's a lot of like random, like here's a couple of plot points. Like here's one. There's this crappy character called Captain Boomerang. He's a Flash villain.
I've heard of him.
He is at this point he's just this fat old dude.
Oh.
He's like, I'm a crappy villain. I suck. And like he goes to Calculator, who's this other crappy obscure villain, and he begs Calculator to like come up with things for him to do,
Okay.
like, jobs for him to pull.
Oh.
And
Wait. There's a Captain Boomerang in DC.
yeah.
And there's also a Captain or Mr. Boomerang, or... The Boomerang is part of Superior Foes of Spider-Man.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Boomerang's in that. Captain Boomerang's in DC. And they're both villains, they both use boomerangs, and they're both Australian.
I was gonna say, are they both Australian?
Of course they are.
Because that's where boomerangs come from.
Yeah. Because no one else would use one. So, Captain Boomerang is...
But no one else knows how.
It's true. Yeah, only Australians know how to do it.
It's impossible. If you try and throw a boomerang, it does not come back unless
No.
you're running.
That's right. It's a well-known fact.
I've thrown boomerangs and they haven't.
All right, well, we can't trust Ethan now because he's a thief and a murderer.
And a liar.
Yeah.
Because that's never happened. So Captain Boomerang is this old, like, lame character, and he learns he has a son who's kind of a ne'er-do-well,
Okay.
and he reunites with his son.
He's
And you're like,
hey,
oh, that's nice.
Let's do crime together.
Yeah, kind of. Like, he's just like, you're my son, and, like, I've never had a family, and I'm a loser, but, like, maybe you could be something, like, good in my life.
Okay.
And they kind of, like, they unite, and they rekindle their relationship, and then Captain Boomerang gets the score of his life. The score of his life is that Calculator has been hired by another intermediary who's hired Captain Boomerang to assassinate this guy named Jack Drake.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And he's like, the money I'm getting for this will solve all my problems, and it'll also put a name for me. Like, people think that Captain Boomerang is a joke, but when Captain Boomerang murders this, like, prominent, wealthy guy,
Right.
like, he'll be back on the map.
Tim Drake's dad is a wealthy,
Yeah.
prominent person.
Yeah, he lives, like, next door to the Waynes.
And his dad never knew that Tim was missing all the time.
Oh, when he's Robin?
Yeah.
Eventually,
Going out with Batman?
he tells him that he's Robin. Like, he tells his dad after their mom dies, and Chuck Dixon like plays that fiddle for a long time. The like, I've got to be Robin, but my dad doesn't know, and he's a widower, and he's sad, and I'm like lying to my dad. Eventually, he's just like, Dad, I'm Robin. And he's like, oh, I forbid you to be Robin. And then eventually he gets over it, and he's like, okay, son, like, you're Robin, and you're doing good. And plus, like, Batman's invulnerable anyway. So, good luck. He doesn't know about the trophy in the cave of the dead Robin.
Dead Robin.
Otherwise, he'd be like, no, you're just a target!
Yeah, exactly. So,
You wear this costume. Why does it have a giant bullseye on it? Go on, Robin.
Drake is the recipient of a letter. And the letter says, defend yourself, and comes with a revolver.
Oh. What?
And Drake's like, okay, I'm just gonna pick up this gun, and I feel like there might be something in my house. So he calls Tim,
Good. That's the
Okay.
right move.
and he's like, Robin, or son, like, help me out. And Robin is with Batman in the Batmobile, and he's like, shit! And, like, as it turns out, like, Captain Boomerang's in the house, and there's, like, this tense scene where Captain Boomerang's, like, stalking Jack Drake. And you're like, oh shit, like, what's gonna happen? And Batman, like, he's like, like, Oracle, call Wally, get him, like, tell Flash to get there. Wally's someplace else. He's like, shit! And Batman's driving, like, Mach 5 in the Batmobile to get there. And Captain Boomerang appears, and there's this neat, like, image of, like, this fat, like, lame Captain Boomerang, like, ha-ha, with his boomerang. And Drake shoots Captain Boomerang and kills him. But not before Captain Boomerang throws a boomerang and embeds it in his heart and kills Jack. So they kill each other.
Oh my god.
And they both, like, leave their respective sons orphans. So the young, like, son of Captain Boomerang takes up the mantle and becomes the new Captain Boomerang. So we're gonna get a new Captain Boomerang, a new edgier, younger, cooler Captain Boomerang.
And that Captain Boomerang is going to have a real problem with Tim Drake.
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember if there's ever an issue with that. I don't think
You
so.
would think so.
Well, he doesn't know that he's Robin.
You skipped.
Oh,
something very
Firestorm?
important.
Well,
Is it?
no, I assume that Tim Drake has a life as Tim Drake.
Yeah.
So, like...
Oh, yeah, so you can be like, your dad killed my dad, I'm gonna fuck
Yeah.
up your life. I don't remember if there's ever an issue with that, but I'd be interested to know, because that'd be kind of cool. So,
Maybe the son is like, oh,
Well,
thank
but then
God
you
my
have to give
dad
away
is
his
dead.
secret identity then.
Now I can be Tim...
Well,
I can
no,
be
it could be
Boomerang.
that,
I
like-
guess he could do it as just a normal person.
yeah. So, also Firestorm dies. Moving on,
Well, no, we've talked about this. Who cares about Firestorm?
there's a big
Yeah.
fight between superheroes and supervillains, and I think the
How does
Shadow...
he die?
The Shadow Shade. Shade steals Shining Knight's sword. Shining Knight's a superhero who's like from the like
Medieval?
King Arthur ages.
Okay.
And he's got a magic sword, I think it's Excalibur or something like that. And he stabs Firestorm with it. And Firestorm is like made of like nuclear energy. So like he breaks the suit and so he's gonna blow up. And it's actually kind of a sad moment because Firestorm's like, I'm gonna die. And he goes, say goodbye to my family for me. And he just flies into the air and explodes.
And this
You
is
know-
all while trying to like interrogate people.
Yeah,
to
well,
find
all while
out.
trying to figure out who killed Sue Dibney.
Right.
So, his suit contains his nuclear power.
Yeah, or like maybe Maybe skin does. Like, the suit is pretty loose.
Well, he
So I
gets
assume-
stabbed through the chest.
Yes, it actually goes
all
through his
comes
back.
out the back.
No, I get
So
that.
maybe, like, his skin...
But then why is his hair fire?
That's like an exhaust port.
Yeah. I think that's just what happens when he dies, is he blows up.
I think it's like his containment's been breached.
So it's like
Okay.
Ghostbusters. Someone turned the grid off.
So
Yeah.
So his skin contains...
Yeah, his skin
His
contains
skin
it.
is like the reactor wall.
Exactly.
And his hair is just,
I'm
the
telling
vents.
you, it's a vent.
Okay.
Like on the DeLorean in Back to the Future,
Yeah.
like those
Oh, okay.
big things.
I
in the
get
back.
it.
Yeah, its energy's got to go somewhere,
Yeah.
I guess.
Although it'd be nuclear energy, so he'd be killing everyone. But like whatever. So so Firestorm dies too, and and Batman, of course, is there immediately, and he takes the note
Okay.
that warns Jack Drake. Meanwhile, there's this interlude where everyone who has a loved one goes to their loved one. Like I think like during like for Sue's funeral, like they wear their suits and they go, but like afterwards or for the day after, like no superheroes. Everyone is like, you know what? Like they like
Spend a day
spend a day with your
family.
loved one. Like Superman's like no Superman today
Because they're
Lois.
probably going to die.
Yeah, someone's trying to kill you.
And
I don't
we
want
can't
to
stop them.
Yeah, and so it's really cool, and you're like, oh, that's really nice. Like there's a moment where, and in fact, even the Atom, even Ray Palmer and his ex-wife
Yeah.
are kind of like reconciling. He's just like, you know what, like you could be a target, and the fact is, like we had some good times,
Right.
and like they actually wind up like sleeping together as a result of their like reconciling.
Right.
So you're like, that's kind of cute.
What would be really funny is if the next day, like after that, like one of the superheroes picks up a newspaper and it's just like, crime ran rampant.
Yeah, exactly.
in the cities.
Where is everybody?
And like they just gloss over it. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. Well, we're superheroes now.
Oh, well, Ziggy's really up to some shenanigans today. So then the bomb is dropped that when they mind wiped Dr. Light, as it turns out, he wasn't the only one who got mind wiped that day. Because
Oh.
Flash was there, Wally West, and he leaves after they decide to mind wipe Dr. Light. And then Batman comes back to the Watchtower. Because he's like, you know what? Because he left. Like, after they find out that, like, Sue got raped, they were like, everyone's, like, sad, and they all decide to leave. And then Batman, like, leaves. And then he comes back, because he's like, you know what? Like, that really sucks. Like, I'm going to go back and, like, tell Ralph I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to be a human being. Mm-hmm. So he goes back through the teleporter to see them mind-wiping Dr. Light. And he's like, what are you doing?
Oh, shit.
And they're like, oh, no. And they mind-wipe Batman.
You don't mind what Batman.
That's what Flash says. He goes, you don't do that to Batman! Yeah.
Oh, fuck!
And so,
So Flash finds out that they mind wipe Batman
yeah.
in this book.
Yes. And they're like,
And they mind wipe Flash.
no, they don't.
know that he finds out, right? Like,
Well, no, he confronts them, and he's like, hey, you guys. Like, fuck
he
you.
doesn't just tell Batman.
No, he doesn't.
I guess
he
'cause
wants
he
to, but
knows
he
what
doesn't.
would happen.
Well, what's funny is, at the end of all things, the League is together and they're all hanging out, and Wally seems really on edge and really uncomfortable about everything, and Batman's like, is there something you want to say, Wally? And Wally's like, I don't know, and Batman's like, just speak your mind, Wally. And he's like, no, I'm good. And Batman's like, okay. And then that will lead into the OMAC project, which is Batman figured that shit out way after, like very shortly after the fact. So he creates a satellite called Brother Eye. It's an artificial intelligence system that like monitors all metahuman life.
Oh.
He's like, you fucking used your stupid magic on me, so I'm gonna keep tabs on all of you. And the satellite fucking goes rogue and starts like,
That's why you don't do that to Batman.
because Batman will go fucking crazy.
The satellite goes rogue.
Batman's
The
keeping,
AI goes rogue.
Oh,
he's
the
keeping
AI.
files on you anyway.
Yeah, he is keeping files, and that's a really better story. But like, so here's
wait, the AI is killing people?
no, that's later. That's the
Oh,
OMAC project.
oh.
That does.
Oh, that's like, okay.
Yeah, that's later. But they're like, Batman, damn it, you fucked us, and he's like, you shouldn't have mind wiped me. But
That's what you get.
Yeah, that's what you get. So they.
I've been writing all these letters and killing your loved ones just to teach you guys a lesson.
That'd be amazing. No, we didn't do that. So they do the autopsy on Sue Dibney, and they find out like she didn't die from burns, like she was burned.
Right.
But they open her up and they find out that like what happened was she had little footprints on her brain and she hemorrhaged. Like they found little footprints on her brain.
That sounds like the Atom.
So Batman's like, shit, like get Ray, like, and Ray is meanwhile about to go bang his ex-wife.
Right.
And she asks him, like, and the page ends with him like kind of like the shadow really like casts over his face, like menacingly, looking like he's like gonna kill her. And you're like, and that's how the issue ends. And you're like, oh shit! Like Adam's gonna go kill his ex-wife. Like go stop him. And they're about to bang, and she said, and his ex-wife says, like, hey, did they ever say who? Did the League ever figure out who sent the letter to Jack Drake? And and Ray is like, nobody said anything about a letter to Jack Drake. And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, you killed Sue Dibney.
What?
Like, my ex-wife killed Sue Dibney and Jack Drake and everyone. What happened?
So the only way she would know about a letter,
is if she sent it.
Jack Drake, is if she sent it.
Yes, because... and she's like, well, I didn't mean to, like, for him to die. I sent him the letter and the gun so that he would... It was Captain Boomerang, for Christ's sake! Who'd have thought he would have killed this guy?
Right.
So the idea here was, Ray's wife, or ex-wife, was so sad that they were divorced, she thought the only way to get him back was to create this situation in which the loved ones of superheroes were threatened, and maybe it would bring him back to her. And in fact, it did. And she's like, I wasn't planning on killing Sue, but I did. And
then I burned her?
I burned her.
How?
Because she fucking took one of the Atom's suits and shrank down and went into her head.
Suit. Why did she have one of the Atom's suits?
How many suits does he have?
He has like a couple.
You're a
superhero. You're gonna go.
But why does his ex-wife have one of his suits?
Well, I think it's because like it was during the divorce and like they were.
Look,
still
she gets half his stuff.
Yeah, right.
Look, that means your suits. I'll fucking take one of your suits.
Well, what
are you gonna do with one of my suits?
The Atom has in his possession now 3 suits. Now,
I understand you are entitled to half the marital assets, and so as such, you get an Atom suit.
We would give you 1.5, but like
that would be lame.
we would tear 1 in half and it'd be useless.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Whoever wants the rightful owner of the suit will cut the suit in half. No, she should just have it. Adam,
you get the suit.
Anyway,
that's why she only has one.
Yes. So she reveals like it worked, and now and she also, by the way, you saying like, why is this chick hanging herself? Yeah, she was.
Hanging herself. And
she's like, I believe in him so well that
he'll come save
me.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So she's a crazy person.
Yeah, she is.
Wow.
And then Ray takes her to Arkham, and she is committed.
Wow.
Yeah. And the end of the story is just like, I can't believe that happened.
The end of the story, elongated man going to
Arkham and killing her? No,
her just like confronting her about it.
No,
like, you killed Sue.
No, the end of the story is the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen in a comic ever. The end of the comic is, well, first of all, they wrap it up with the identity thing, where they're like, what we did was right. Like, we should have mind-webbed Dr. Light, we should have mind-webbed Batman.
Right, because none of this was our fault.
Yes, we didn't have any of this coming at all.
So still, there haven't been any negative repercussions.
No, but there will be.
There were,
it was just a huge coincidence,
but
it's not.
Yeah. And luckily, only one non-power person died.
Right.
Or 2, rather.
And it wasn't our fault.
Oh, except for Firestorm. Firestorm.
Oh, yeah.
So, at the end, we see Ralph in bed, and he's talking to Sue about his day. And he, like, just talks about how much he loves her, and then it, like, pans out, and the bed's empty. And he, like, turns off his light, and he uses elongated powers to turn off her light.
Oh, my
And he just says, like, I love you, good night. And you're just like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's like, well, you're going to do that for the rest of your life until you go insane.
Yeah. And by the way, like, he's not, he's not crazy, he's just, like, sad.
No, he's just really upset and misses her.
Yeah.
He's like, no,
I just miss my wife.
every night when I got home,
Like, she was there.
like, we were together, and we would talk to each other before we went to bed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just going to keep doing that.
Yeah. Now, later on, he would die, and then the Black Lantern would bring him and her back to life as zombies. So don't worry, they reconcile. But as far as Identity Crisis is concerned, it retcons a lot of things, but in a, like, story way.
Yeah.
It's the way I like retcons.
Yeah, it's kind of natural and cool.
Yeah, I find that a lot of people in the comic community don't like those retcons.
Really?
Because they're like, well, you just went in and changed the story. But if, like, the Anti-Monitor shows up and makes it so, that's okay. Because the Anti-Monitor has an infinite cosmic power. But, like,
that.
if a writer wants to tell an interesting story and he has to go back and change the original story, that's bullshit and you suck. It's like, Yeah,
That's
but-
good
He
storytelling.
doesn't have to change it. He's filling in.
Yeah, he's
stuff
filling
that
in
you didn't know
gaps
about.
that like are okay.
You like to think that you would have heard about it had it happened.
Right.
The fact is you didn't.
yeah, and
So
no one
just deal with
You
it.
don't understand. I read every single issue and I read every tie-in, and it never happened. So
Right.
it never happened.
Yeah, but then it happens now in my lifetime, and so now it's bullshit.
I watched it happen. I saw it happen.
Don't tell me it didn't happen. Yeah, thanks, Nero. Nero, the comic book fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, because it didn't happen for him. He's like,
yeah.
I didn't see it happen. I didn't watch it happen.
I was
see it
looking the
happen."
whole time.
You can't tell
Don't
me
tell me it happened because I know it didn't. But yeah, so Identity Crisis is a cool story, and it's like handled really well, and the characters are all pretty consistent, and everyone's really like interesting, and it does a neat job of elevating these characters who you don't normally give a fuck about.
The art also looks really good.
Yeah, Rags Morales really tickles the ivories in this book. No, he's really good. He's a good artist. I think he also drew the New 52 Action Comics like first arc, and I read the first like 5 or 6 issues of that, and I was like, this is great. He only gets better. This collected volume is also cool because it has everyone who worked on this book loved working on it, and they were just so excited to do it. Mm-hmm. And as such, there's like a backup at the end where they talk about like their favorite moments from the book. Like, man, this, I did such a good job on this comic. You know, my favorite thing that I did in this comic was this, and they have that, and they also have like story points where like the writer and artist talk about like each chapter or each like segment of the story. That's really cool.
That's cool.
So I like this volume, even though the cover is like,
Really
God
crappy.
damn it. I'll leave a copy in the description box down below for you to pick it up if you want to buy it.
Now, this was originally published as separate books. Right?
Yeah, they were all. It was
so that
Identity
cover
Crisis.
only was for
The graphic
trade.
novel, yeah,
Graphic
the trade. Cool story, but dark and ushered in like the new era of like. And in fact, even then, like,
Well, this is what-
they'd already killed, I think, Kyle Rayner's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And cut her up and put her in a fridge.
Yeah.
So like, it was just more of the same.
Yeah.
But even then, it was like, really, like Sue. Like
Yeah,
Sue Dibney,
you pick
the one non-powered character.
who's like innocent and like is not divorced from her superhero husband. Like they don't have issues.
Nope.
Like, it's just a nice, happy family.
Yeah, it's the last bastion of like hope and innocence in DC, and we raped it, and then killed it, and then set it on fire.
But I absolutely love the fact that Ray picks up Hawkman's mace
Oh,
and
yeah.
just clocks Dr. Light in the head.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
It's
a lot
just
of cool shit.
That's just a you've done. Bam!
yeah,
Sue!
they just beat the shit.
I just got goosebumps from
Yeah,
that.
it's awesome. It's badass. Anyway, there you go, guys. Identity Crisis by Brad Meltzer and Rags Morales. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. And that's all we got. I'm Sal.
I mean,
I'm Ben.
So long.
does he like try to get villains to try to trap him?
He's like,
he can get out.
he's like, you can't shoot me. What if you put me into an elaborate?
I'm in this abandoned warehouse where there might be things here. I guess I'll just wait.
Until you spring something on me, perhaps a trap of some kind.
Some nefarious scheme.
Yeah, no.
Are all his villains like people who like lay intricate?
No, it's not like the
traps?
it's like the Riddler is like a really good villain for him. Would
If
be.
only it was Marvel, you could have that guy that designs the killer fun houses or whatever it is.
Oh, Arcade.
Arcade.
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Miracle versus Arcade would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
He would just beat the shit out of Arcade. He would just walk through it like it was nothing. Like it was a hallway, and then punch Arcade because he's just some ginger.
I've got God mode on, it's fine.
Yeah, later. I'm Mr. Miracle.